Hello, this is Mad Dodge Productions. I am the Mad Libertarian. So tonight, I decided to go over to Kristy Winter's website or YouTube page and see what she had up there. This is about 10 days ago. Reasonable questions for the alt-right and white nationalists. Now, I am neither alt-right or a white nationalist, and I have not watched this yet. So, I think we should watch this together, guys. I will pause it and give my thoughts as we go. I may or may not agree. I do believe, though, I think there are going to be some false narratives going on. Let's check it out, guys.
Hello to my blue friends,
Blue friends, okay.
Does it make you at all uncomfortable that you're leading your audience across a bridge to nowhere? Capitalism, love it or hate it, in cooperation with globalization, have made Western nations increasingly dependent on non-white nations for basic essentials, from natural resources to food to capital.
Okay, first off, we supply most of the world's food, and we are totally food independent. And we're soon to be oil independent, which by extension almost makes us energy independent. So if you're talking about protectionist tariffs against the rest of the world, then the United States is probably somewhat okay. If you're talking about this white ethno-state thing where the whole world would turn against the United States, if that was to happen, I would say, one, they're a bunch of idiots for even trying to make that happen because there's no feasible way for it to happen. But number two, the United States could be self-sufficient. So that end, you're kind of wrong.
The United States alone imported $2.21 trillion in goods in 2016. 1.7 trillion of that was imported from non-white countries.
Why? Because they make cheap goods with cheap labor. And so we're importing Chinese goods, which you're failing to mention is a lot of these figures are coming from the Asian world. And not a lot of them are coming from, I don't know, Africa? Just saying.
Reference. That's larger than the economies of Sweden, Switzerland, Austria, Norway, and Finland combined. Are you really willing to risk our quality of life, our financial security, and our lives for a fool's errand?
I've noticed that people who have racist or race realist ideas, if we must, also tend to have other prejudices as well, such as that women should be relegated to the home, there are only two genders, and people need...
Well, first off, make me a sandwich. Number two, there are only two genders. Okay, so there's XY, and then, I mean, come on. Are you really going to argue chromosomes and DNA? Genetics? There are two genders, okay? And somebody that's transitioning is going from one gender to the other. They never said that they were a fox fucking furry alt-right fucking horn dog. Okay, I mean, what the fuck? Where are you getting all these others, otherkin, and other fucking XYZ? You guys are insane. There is male and female, and those in between that want to be one or the other. Give me a fucking break.
Need to remain identified with the one they were identified as birth, or that gay people are degenerates who shouldn't marry. As these ideas are also not supported by modernity or science, have you ever considered that...
I'm just gonna take a drink of my beer. Go ahead, continue.
It is much more likely that your hateful ideas are based in personality or learned by...
I've yet to see any alt-right ideas here. I'm just throwing that out there. You bring up the gender issue. Is that a big alt-right Richard Spencer talking point? I don't think it is. Voice of One. Comment. Let me know.
biases than any reality.
Many of the people playing defense attorney for you.
Playing defense attorney for you. Urgh. Sorry, I just... Fuck this guy. Danny K. We'll just go with that. Fuck off.
Like to claim that we call everyone racist and Nazis by pushing the idea of we need to preserve the white race and white genocide.
Wait a minute though. White genocide, first off, is gonna happen shortly in South Africa. And number two, why exactly is it wrong to believe in white culture? Or if you're from the South, to own a Confederate flag and to believe that your ancestors fought and died for something other than a rich man owning another human being? I mean, I really would like these questions answered, you know, and maybe one of you guys will see this. It'll go out on my Twitter and we'll see. But I mean, once again, I'm not alt-right. I'm a goddamn libertarian, okay? But you're not bringing up alt-right issues, okay? And when you talk about white genocide, that's gonna really happen. And what about there's no such thing as being racist against a white person? That's a problem, is it not? I think you're talking out of both sides of your fucking face here, and I really think this is like a BuzzFeed Whitey fucking is evil type video. Shame on you.
Is an issue that needs to be discussed. Aren't you proving our point that you are the things we claim you are?
Not even a full century ago, scientific racism, what you might call race realism today, was an acceptable / mainstream viewpoint to hold in society. Why do you think that over the last 100 years, the scientific community has so completely abandoned race realism?
Oh, but they didn't ever abandon eugenics, you know, abortion. All these issues that actually affect the minority community, you know, where they're killing their youth. And the youth that they're not killing, well, they grow up in fatherless homes. And they get illegal guns. And they're slinging crack rocks on the corner at 12. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm a racist. I'm a bad guy now. Because I state facts. Look up the crime statistics.
Especially given the fact that the last 50 years is when the majority of genetic research on humans has occurred, and it's distanced us further from that. Bonus points if the answer doesn't sound like the plot to National Treasure plus racism.
How can you claim that black people born in the UK aren't British?
Cabbage, this is a UK question. Tigerson, UK question. I got nothing on this. Jensen Quinn, one of you guys answer this question. I'm going to let this bitch talk and then move on. Oh, I mean, this woman. Excuse me. Definitely not a bitch. I apologize. Don't flag my channel.
But white people born in North America are entitled to North America. I mean, you are aware that North America does have a indigenous, non-white population, right?
Will you guys condemn the acts of
Fuck, I knew this asshole was going to be on here. Go ahead, asshole. Continue.
violence, including murder, of course, committed by white nationalists or in the...
Oh, just a second. Okay. I can think of a couple things off the top of my head. You know, a poor, disabled white kid getting kidnapped, being forced to drink toilet water, being yelled at. Fuck Trump, whitey. White people suck, huh? Yeah, cutting his fucking face. Cutting into his scalp. Yeah, you know. But white people were bad. Ooh.
the name of white nationalism.
This law is damn law.
What?
and like the statistics. Yes, there probably is data
Is this guy for real?
out there that with a bit of manipulation
40 ounce, dude. Save me.
you can use to support your claim that black people commit more crime. But do you think your motives for finding
Oh, okay. This can't be fake, right? This guy. I'm gonna have to look up this guy. Am I being a dick here? This can't be real.
this data are a bit, well, racist?
Did you understand a word that guy said?
So my big question for the alt-right, and I presented a version
Hey, this guy could talk. We're moving ahead here.
of this question to in conversation with Mike Enoch on the Warski Live program. The co-opting of the language regarding the right of return and the alt-right position on homelands seems extremely inconsistent, because on the one hand, one of the major alt-right talking points is about the right of Europeans to return to their homelands, and that white people deserve a nation. And then, right along with it, the same people will talk about how white people are entitled to the countries they built. It's incomprehensible.
Okay. Oh, I love the air quotes, dude. Okay. They built the foundation. They did. I'm sorry. That's a fact. They laid out the blueprints. They built up the legal system, especially in the United States. And that was the whites. Sorry. It was. And if you want to say it was built on the backs of others, to a certain extent, you have the right. You're right. But not really. If you look at it as a whole, and if you look at the North especially, with the influx of so-called whites, you had the foundation of the industrial era built upon the Irish. So, I mean, you can't really... I don't like this fucking false narrative that you're pitching here. And there is a such thing as white culture, European culture. There is. And to say that there isn't is inherently racist in itself, because I recognize that there's an Asian or a Chinese culture and a Japanese culture, a Korean culture, an South African culture, North African, Zimbabwe, whatever, what have you. I recognize that, and that's all okay, but by God, somebody like Varg from fucking Iceland or Switzerland or wherever wants to talk about his fucking European white culture, he's a goddamn racist piece of shit. And that's where you lose me. Alright? Level playing ground for everybody. Now, go ahead and continue, sir.
Comprehensible to me that white nationalists get to co-opt the language of disenfranchised people. So, like when Palestinians talk about the right of return, they have a lot more legitimacy because they're talking about.
Wait, so what about the Israelis? What about the Jews that have the right to return? I mean, it sounds like you're automatically taking the Palestinian side when they're the ones firing missiles over the border, to where they had to build a fucking missile defense system to protect themselves, but still there's missiles every day. RPGs, suicide bombings. Whose side are you on, man?
Having been displaced by an external imperialist force, whether it was the British or the existing Israeli government and their expansion.
Okay. I thank you. You told me whose side you're on. Appreciate it.
Nobody put white people out of Europe. White people traveled.
Do you recognize that the Crusades were started because of an influx and invasion of the Arab world, the Muslim world, into Spain and into that area of Europe, and that it took somebody like Vlad the Impaler to actually halt them, and they actually controlled parts of Spain for 100 years or more? Do you realize that? When you say it's always whitey that's evil, you're sadly mistaken.
Out of Europe. White people left Europe. The idea that somehow this, the United States of America is a white homeland is not only profoundly inaccurate, despite the whatever the racist scribblings of the founding fathers would imply. It just...
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I need a drink after that. The racist scribblings of the founding fathers. Fuck this guy.
It doesn't seem like a consistent argument. You know, even if it was consistent, it wouldn't be particularly valid. But
then you would totally think my argument's totally invalid and that I'm a piece of shit, which is perfectly fine. You can kiss my rebel ass, you Yankee son of a bitch.
I just don't understand that if the alt-right wants the soil that they're...
I'm not even in the alt-right and you got me fucking headed their way. You're their greatest recruitment tool. Fucking bitch. Somebody send him a fucking Hitler Pepe.
Their blood comes from. Why they wouldn't then be consistent in their logic and say that, you know, the Native Americans and First Nations of North America.
I am. Once again, we're not talking about me. But now you're irritating me. So I feel like you're talking at me. Fuck you, dude. The Trail of Tears was a disaster. It was horrific. And if you look at the Civil War, the so-called racist South had more Native Americans fighting on their side than the Union did. So who's the real racist? Stupid son of a bitch.
America could then have the land that their blood came from back.
So, some questions for race realists, or as I like to call them, racists. How exactly can you
Some questions for blue-haired girls, or as I like to call them, fat smurfs.
justify your views? Like, if someone decided that all white people should have to be put on a separate island, away from the rest of society, or decided that all white people should be gotten rid of in some other way...
Like, if all fat smurfs had to go to an island, how long until they eat each other?
Some not-so-peaceful way, would you not feel angry, upset, disgusted, outraged?
Would you have the other fat smurfs barbecued, stuffed, or baked?
So why do you think it's okay to hold these views about...
Why do you think it's okay to eat people?
About people who aren't white?
Oh, wait. We were both talking fiction, huh? Oh, okay. And what is this? Fucking Prince?
I often hear advocates of race realism defend or attempt to rationalize the creation of an ethno-state, which, on the surface, makes sense, since an ethno-state is really a racial state when you build it along racial lines, such as white versus non-white people. Are you aware, however, how
Are you aware? That kind of looks like a... I don't know. Is that a hookah? Wait a minute. What's that Jewish candle thing? That's half of that, huh? Ogre, help me out.
defeating it is to even allude to the existence of ethnicities in those arguments? After all, every biologically grounded argument for race realism references phenomena that, even when they're well-founded...
You do realize that the bell curve is not a racist scientific study, and that it does have some merit.
In real biology are better explained by specific analysis of a certain ethnic group, or even a specific regional mutation within an ethnic group. Are you aware of this massive self-own within your movement's rhetoric of choice?
Are you aware that to the degree that you are open to the idea of violating the rights of others based
Are you aware I'm going to jab my eyeballs out with a flathead screwdriver?
on race, gender, or any such designation, you're the enemy of democracy and freedom, and that people of good...
Are you aware that we are not a goddamn democracy? We are a democratic republic, and I hate the fact that you assholes keep throwing out democracy like it's a good fucking thing. Because if you're really oppressed, then a democracy is the last thing you fucking want. God damn it. Public service announcement. We are not living in a fucking democracy. Somebody shoot me. Mole, where are you? Shoot me.
Good conscience will never stop fighting you, and you will never win.
Why is it that you guys claim to be pro...
Is he back? Is son of a fucking cunt.
white, but yet when a white person like, say, Heather Heyer gets murdered, you defend the murderer. It almost seems like you're rather anti-white.
Many of you are advocates of ethno-nationalism. This practice was used by the Nazis during World War II.
You, sir, are totally reading a script. Just saying.
To justify the Holocaust. Based on this information, and your claims that you're not...
Based on the fact that I am reading off a script and I am a total robot, nobody should at all take what I am saying seriously. This was obviously written for me, because I am too stupid to talk for myself.
Not racist. What makes you think ethno-nationalism is a good idea?
Do you think if we were to elect a lot of marginalized people, like a ton of them, that the U.S. government...
Why are they repeating people? Could they not get enough assholes to talk against Andy Worski? I mean, they mentioned him by name. I'm just saying.
should be able to, for no real reason, deport you to your ancestors' countries? I mean, you could ethno-state somewhere else.
How do you comfort yourself?
Okay, I don't care that Prince is back. You could ethno-state yourself somewhere else? Fucking fuck me. Holy shit. I feel like I'm 40 outs watching the Nachi video. Fuck me.
Given your need to insist ad infinitum that race is real, very few people argue that race is not real. The more common consensus is that race is a series of sociological boundaries that shift with time based on changing perceptions of different ethnicities and cultures.
I'm going to talk in a big circle, and I'm going to hope that you're too dumb to understand that I'm really talking bullshit.
If you found this clarification to be enlightening, I do of course have some books I could lend you on the subject.
I noticed that you were recently concerned.
Why are you back? Fuck. 834 out of 1056. Alright, fine. Fine. Fuck me.
About the level of misogyny in your movement and...
Misogyny. Patriarchy. You're a sexist. You're a transphobe. You hate bisexual people. Oh, I like watching women. Fuck you. You're a fucking misogynist. Fuck off.
I just want to know, what did you ever think was going to happen? They don't like women. They want to put them on housewife arrest, whether they like it.
Okay, alright. Whether they like it or not is what you're gonna say. You do realize that we live in a civilized world, and what you are describing is called kidnapping? Yeah. You're full of shit. Okay? My wife is not chained to the stove, making me sandwiches at all hours and sucking my dick on command. You're fucking stupid. Fuck you.
Or not. And their promises to protect you, well, they'll protect you from other people with skin tones they don't like, but they won't protect you from themselves. They want you to be a...
Is this 1920? Bitch has a time machine. Somebody get me the flux capacitor. I'm making my own.
possession, a thing. And that is fundamentally not going to work.
And you're fundamentally borderline retarded.
Because you're not. You're a person. A real, live, human being.
Is that back hair drawn on her back? Ew. What is that?
With thoughts and desires and hopes and dreams of your own. And they're never going to be there for that. I mean, you do get that, right? You're a baby factory. And unless you're 100% sure that that is all that you will ever want out of life, then, well, I mean, then I guess I don't understand why you would want to be with people like that.
Okay, alright. You know what? Let's take a poll. Hey, honey, you're still awake, right? Hello? Are you a baby factory? No, she's asleep. Alright. Epic fail on that one. And I won't even edit that out. She's asleep. You know why? Because I can't keep her awake because she's not chained to my stove, you dumb cunt. She's on a baby factory. You're a fucking idiot. You know what? Motherfuckers, seriously, you're gonna fucking see this and you're gonna call me a bunch of names. I sit at home and I fucking take care of the 6 kids while she works, and then I fucking make a little bit of money on the side and take care of the kids and keep the wood chopped so the fire will burn and we won't fucking freeze to death. And I think you're a fucking moron. Baby factory. God damn you.
Who would treat you that way and think of you that way? I guess I'm just...
You would. You are making this story up. You invented it.
curious about how you feel about that.
So, peaceful ethnic cleansing. Let's say you want to peacefully round up all the people that would have to leave in order for you to consider this place an ethno-state. What happens when they refuse to leave their homes? What if peace isn't an option? How then do you achieve your ethno-state?
Okay, I have no argument for this. He's absolutely right. And, like I said, I'm not one of those people. I'm just looking at this from a libertarian perspective and calling you out on your bullshit. This time, you got one right.
Do you try to do it with, like, lawsuits? Because I feel like that wouldn't work. Next case on the docket, plaintiff Spencer is suing defendant Jackson because he is black. I don't think we're going to proceed with this case.
There's a question. Mr. President-elect, Mr. President-elect, since you are attacking our news organization, can you give us a chance? You are attacking our news organization. Can you give us a chance to ask a question, sir? Sir, can you state, Mr. President?
Alright. Okay, so hopefully I don't get raided and struck down for this. I gave you my off-the-cuff point of view. I do apologize for my wife actually falling asleep. I thought she was over there listening to me record. But no, she is not a baby factory. And yeah, a lot of you are going to write, well, you got 6 kids, blah, blah, blah. Well, she's also out working, and I don't have her chained to the stove. Unlike Jen, Redbeard. Shame on you. You know what? This has been the Mad Libertarian. This has gone on long enough. I'm going to upload it tonight. Have a good one.